guys, so this week I closed the month green, and then just a little bit of a recap if anyone's new to the channel. I've been learning to day trade penny stocks on the US market since October 24, and then from January this year I started paper trading, and the last 3 months I've been trading with real money, a small $300 account, and somehow I've traded every month green, so I'm about $90 in profit, and I'm just trading on small size until I can hit consistency and feel comfortable to size up. So this week I closed my position on my first penny stock swing trade, so I'm going to go into the chart and analyse why I took the trade. So the ticker was ONMD, and this is the daily chart over here. And this was on my watch list because it was one of the top runners that day. It moved on high volume, it's a low float stock as always, and it had gone from around 33 cents up to about 91 cents. So its highs were around 168% and it closed about 100% on that day, which to be honest is not a lot, and it wouldn't necessarily be top on my radar, but it's still, because it's not a massive run compared to what other stocks can do, but it was still, I think, one of the top gainers that day, so I put it on my watch list. And it had a PR behind it, so it had some fresh capital and also some sort of Bitcoin strategy, something like that. So there's a reason why the stock's moving. And I should point out as well, the volume was really high on this day, so 495 million. So as I said, it wasn't prime on my hit list, but I always keep an eye on these things just to see what they're doing. So if we go over to the intraday chart here, on the 1 minute time frame, let me just zoom in a little bit. So this is its day one here, and then day two it pulls back to around the 50 cent area, and it's holding 50 cent as support. So $half marks are always important areas for support, as are whole dollar marks. So the fact that that's holding at 50 cent is good. And also if we go back to its day one pre-market, we can see that it held some kind of support there and then pushed off it, came back down when the market opened, held it again and pushed off. So that's looking like possibly a clear area of support. So I kind of watched it after hours, after its day two, and got more interested in it. And one of the reasons why is because of the volume on day one and then the drop in volume on day two. So if we go here, almost 500 million in volume traded, and then day two only 5.5. So that's a big drop off, which means shorts can get stuck. So shorts will size in according to volume on this day, and then if the volume isn't there on day two, they can't cover without affecting the price. So this here on day two, just double check my calculation there. Yeah, so this was about 2% of the volume on this day. So that's really good for this setup. And also the fact that it retraced down to this 50 cent level from its highs of 91, that's a retracement of about 45%, which is what I look for on first green day bounces, which is the setup that I was playing. So when a stock's had a big run up, it's pulled back and you're looking to play it for a bounce. So I'm looking for a retracement of at least 40% before I'm interested in a bounce, generally speaking. So this had pulled back 45%. It's holding support at the 50 cent level, which also matches this area here on day one. So that got my interest. And then pre-market, the day that I bought it, which is this day here, Thursday, can see the first candle. It kind of pushed off, well, it'd gone down to 50 cent and then, just pushed off it. So it was kind of looking like it wanted to hold it pre-market as well. And also this little grind up before market closed on its day two was just hinting that perhaps this wants to spike off this level. So I decided to take a position, and my only hesitation with this one was that the run-up wasn't the strongest. So it only closed up 100% and reached highs of 168% on its day one. That's not really that significant. So that was my hesitancy with taking this trade. So yeah, I decided it was worth risking off this level if I could get good entry. And I entered at, let me double check, pre-market, 7:22 a.m. So around about here. And I got in at 51 cents and I put $51 on the trade. So sat through pre-market, market opened, and it didn't really do much, to be honest. It went up to 56 and then it came back down, and it just, I'm not going to lie, this bit made me nervous. I was thinking, oh God, I'm going to have to cut. But I did have a stop loss on, so it's fine. But just, when it's so close to your risk, you really don't want it to break. But it didn't. It actually held it. I set my risk at 0.4995. I didn't want to do it exactly at 50 cent because I want to allow a tiny bit of wiggle room there. So it held it just above my risk. If I just zoom in a little bit, you can see how close it was to breaking my risk there. So yeah, I wanted to see volume come in here and see people buy in for a bounce and also shorts get squeezed. But it didn't happen, and that's okay. But I wasn't even considering swinging this at all. I've never swung a stock before. So when I saw, I just kind of, held it until it broke my risk. I mean, I had to stick to my plan. And towards the end of the day, you can see, it was holding nicely above that level. And I just thought, if this hasn't bounced today, surely it's got to bounce the next day, because these shorts that have sized in on day one, they're going to have to cover somewhere. And yeah, I just thought volume's got to come in at some point. So I decided to hold it, even though I was very back and forth with shall I hold this, shall I not, because I'm not experienced in swing trading at all, and I get a bit nervous holding a stock after hours. But I did, and as you can see, after hours it didn't really do anything. I wasn't watching it just to make sure, because your stop losses, they're not active after hours or pre-market, so if something happens, you kind of have to cut the trade yourself. Yeah, so pre-market the next day, we're still holding above the risk, and I just started to think, what, surely this has got to bounce today. And I actually decided to add to my position. So I bought in pre-market around 8:55 a.m. I don't know, somewhere around here. And I got in at the same price again, 51 cents, and I put another $51. So in total, I now had $102 on the trade, which is large size for me on my small account. I don't put, normally I'm trading like $30-40 a trade. I'll only size up when it's a good setup, and this started to look to me like a good setup, so I decided to add. And then market opened, and again the volume, it didn't come in, but it still held the risk. So this was such a slow burner, and being a beginner, you really doubt yourself. Why? I was just kept thinking, why isn't this bouncing? Like, surely these shorts are going to get squeezed. Is this the right setup? Am I missing something? Which, also these things can just not work out. But when you're a beginner and you don't have, a second opinion, those doubts do come in. So yeah, again, just a very slow movement, but still holding the risk. And then the thought came in, oh my God, do I hold this over the weekend? I was thinking it's a Friday, surely shorts are going to cover on a Friday. I don't know why, if that's a thing, I feel like it's a thing. And they didn't, so I thought, maybe this will bounce on Monday. I just felt like it had room to go. So I decided, I'm going to hold it over the weekend, which was a little bit scary, but, you've got to start trying these things at some point. So held it over the weekend, And then, as we can see on Monday, again, let me see what the volume was on Monday. I still don't think the volume really came in. Yeah, it's 1.52 million. So you're expecting much more volume to come in for these stocks to bounce. And it just kind of grinded up really slowly over the course of the day. And this isn't your typical first green day bounce. This is a very slow bounce across, multiple days. So my first profit target was around about 60 cents, which was about a 20% move. And I think I might have even sold some a little bit before, just because this was not your typical bounce. And then up here, it did bounce that day, finally got to about 65 cents, which is a 30% spike from the where it was about 50 cents. So that's a nice bounce, but I was expecting more. So as it came towards the end of day, I was selling into here. I think my best sell was 64 cents. My average sell was 60 cents. And average sell was somewhere here, because it came towards the end of the day and I didn't really want to hold it any longer, because I thought, it's tried to bounce and it's not really going as far as I thought. So I decided to move my risk up to, I think I cut somewhere around here just before close. So it ended up at a 17% gain, which is really cool. I think that was like $17, which is quite big for my size. And when I was actually in this trade on this day, somebody in the Roll and Wolf community had said they were also in it and had been swinging it from the Thursday before. So that was really nice to see somebody else had taken the same trade. And then another trader had popped up who's a 6-figure earner in there and said he was also swinging it. So that really boosted me to know that I've got the right thesis, whether it works or not. Because, as I said, when you're a beginner, you don't know if you're taking the right trade or not. So that gave me a bit of confidence that other people were thinking along the same lines as well. So closed out the position there. I know other people in the group were also ended up holding it after this. And let's just see what it did. It did go up a bit more on the couple days afterwards. And it's come back down, but the volume, it's still not come in. So I still think that there's a potential that this could really squeeze at some point. But for me, I'm not experienced enough now. This pattern's all over the place. But, volume comes in, that could do quite a big bounce. But we'll see. Hopefully it does for anyone that's still in it. So this has been a nice setup. My first swing trade, I'm happy with it. And I've been trading day ones quite a lot, and they've just not been working out for me. They're where I'm losing. They're where I've got most of my red trades. So my plan is to stick to setups similar to this: first green day bounces, third day surges, any sympathy plays. But other than that, cutting out all the day ones this month, because they're just too hectic for me to analyse and make a plan so quickly. I don't like that feeling of feeling rushed and not having like a good solid plan. So this style of trading suits me much better, waiting for setups like this. So that's the aim for this month. So that was my first swing trade. And then my target for the whole of July now is to focus on my prime setups and cut out any trading of day one gappers unless they're a sympathy play. So I really want to hold myself accountable to that, just to show myself that I do have the discipline to do what I've said, but also the majority of my red trades are coming from the day one gappers. So if I can cut that out, focus on my prime setups where I have time to analyse, time to make a plan, then I'm interested to see what that could do to my account. So let's see where this month takes me. Putting it out there, no day one gappers unless it's a sympathy play. Thanks for watching and see you next week.